So, of course, not everybody in the squatter platoon needs to be a high-speed mountain man tracker, but having a little bit of situational awareness out in the woods can help you pick up on some clues that gives you more insight into what is going on in the battle space around you. For example, let's say we're going through and doing some forward reconnaissance, just to kind of get a feel of what the enemy presence is in an area, and you notice some footprints in a muddy area. You follow them, and suddenly you find some sort of camp. Maybe there's crushed vegetation over there. You find lots of footsteps, there's trash, maybe there's some ashes in a fire. What can this trash, this disturbance, tell you about the guys that were sleeping here? Is it the enemy? Is it just some random civilians? Because, of course, civilians are always active in a war zone, inevitably. What does this tell you about your enemy, and what can we learn? Well, oftentimes, food tends to be one of the first pieces of trash that stick around. Maybe it's not the full thing, but maybe you have corners torn off of stuff. Something like civilian food may imply that it's some local hunters, especially if you find like spent shotgun rounds, more civilian type cartridges and stuff like that. That may imply that it's someone else. But if you find things like military rations or the corners torn off, that may imply that it is the enemy that you are looking for. Similarly, if you're finding ammunition that is spent rounds or loose ammunition that they may have dropped and it's a standard military cartridge, that could tell you who we're looking at right here. Also, if you're finding, spent casings, stripper clips and things like that, it may imply that they've been shooting recently and they were going through and reloading magazines and whatnot. That gives you more information about who you're looking at. We also want to think about not just, who they are, but what are their capabilities? What are their skill level? What equipment do they have? And things like spent batteries may tell you a few things. Batteries imply the presence of electronics. And of course, it could be something trivial like, beard trimmers or, silly little civilian type stuff like that. But it might also be things like night vision, flashlights, radios, GPS. And identifying batteries might imply that this is a force that has a little bit more high-speed equipment, more than just, sheep farmers that decided to take up arms in whatever conflict we're talking about. Maybe this is more regular forces that have those capabilities. On the flip side, the sheer presence of ashes, of any sort of campfire, implies that this is a low skill level group. Either these guys were so poorly equipped that they were not able to handle the weather and they needed a fire for sheer survival, or they are so undisciplined and untrained that they thought building a fire in a combat environment was a good idea. Either way, the presence of ashes shows that this is not a high speed unit. This is a group of guys that may be more on the militia side than on the regular forces. But alternatively, if you came up to this camp and you found like crushed vegetation over there and over there, kind of setting up a perimeter, those could be fighting positions. They're pulling security all night. If there's no ashes here, that may imply that this is a more regular fighting force, and these may be high-speed dudes that are more of a threat. All of this is to say, of course, I just threw trash out here. This is, just trivial stuff. And you're probably not going to find just a pile of junk here. But just keeping your eyes open on the battlefield and looking for stuff that's out of place. Or if you're trying to learn something about an area, think about what things you might hope to find as you go through. And you might be surprised what you're able to learn and deduce by just keeping your eyes open.